Hey, I'm Maria and welcome to Atmo Journeys, Path to Wellness. This is a space where we can learn from each other. Atmo Journeys is our go-to place for inspiration, a moment in our day where we feel seen, heard, and part of a large community. Today I'm happy to introduce Sandra, a certified coach and marketing consultant from Belarus living in Poland. She draws from her first-hand experience to guide others through the complex challenges they may face living abroad. In today's conversation, Sandra shares insights into her mental health journey, navigating burnout, and thriving as a self employed professional, all while providing a unique perspective on the immigration experience. Hello, Sandra. I'm very happy to see you and I appreciate that you accepted my invitation to join us as a guest of Atmo Journeys podcast. Um, for the beginning, I'd like to give you some space to introduce yourself and to help our audience to get know more about you.
Hello Maria and everyone. Actually, this is the first time I'm podcasting, so I'm quite nervous, but it's all right. My name is Sandra. I'm from Belarus, currently living in Poland, and by my occupation, I'm a marketing consultant, also career consultant, and a coach for immigrants. Been into a variety of complex domains such as child baby food production, manufacturing, and 45 recent years spent in tech doing some branding, events, content, but at the moment, helping to navigating entrepreneurs to in the world of marketing, because it's very crowdy and buzzy. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Definitely considering, in general, your background, I believe so many things that we can discuss this. And the first question that brings on my mind is, you are from Belarus, but now living in Poland. And
hmm
how what was the big challenge or maybe challenges that you
hmm
faced during that transition from your country moving in another country?
Yeah, all right. Well, definitely there were several challenges. Even though I'm experienced immigrant, I used to live in St. Petersburg as well as in Mexico. But this time again, like processing through this experience of immigration highlighted for me how not easy at all the life of immigrant, even though in my case I planned many things. I was supported by the employer because I immigrated with the company, but still challenges like um, there were some emotional challenges, definitely, which I think I put on the first stage, as well as physical condition and like the the grounded challenges are I call them safety challenges. Let me start from the emotional part. Maybe that's because I'm a woman. So I realize I have lack of mood. I definitely missed my family. I'm still missing my family, my neighborhood. I had lack of opportunities to talk in my language. Also, like the whole of my circle, social circle, I mean, has been into also big changes, as well as my social capital or social credibility and professional network has been dramatically changed. Well, first of all, it was on the ground zero. I have to start from the very zero, and all of these events brought me to the very like challenging state of my mind, which I think in my previous relocation experiences I never noticed. So now it was, I think I was more conscious this time. So I noticed that, okay, like I'm not doing anything special, but why I'm so tired, most of all, like in my head, yeah, because as later on I've started to read info about what's going on with an immigrant to his or her body and emotions, and I realized all of these things which I listed are directly affecting the mental state. Yeah, so I think this is the biggest challenge that unfortunately many of immigrants even deny that they have it. Yeah, and don't have this connection why it's happening. Second one is physical condition. So definitely the lack of energy was the case. Mine and many of my of the people I know here who has been also relocated. And I think the mistake number one we all doing, unfortunately, is that we forget that the running a couple of days in a week or doing some small exercising could make a huge difference in our state of mind, state of body, and in our flexibility to the challenges that we have every day. And number three, talking about more specifically about safety. I guess feeling safe about your documents, that everything is all right with this part of your life as an immigrant, as well as receiving regular income, which is enough for you to, to maintain your lifestyle, are crucial for you to stay mentally okay as well. So um, it's if I would answer your question shortly, it will be like, um, I'm just looking the part of immigrant which is not challenging. Yeah,
I see. I see. That's yeah, definitely. It's a big step. You know, you're not you are in this case not just change the location, and
yeah,
I can say that you said so well and explained so well what exactly happened. First of all, is that
yeah,
the connection with your family. For many people, still the family is one of the
yeah.
biggest
It's a big issue.
safe space for everyone, and that's why, for example, I don't live in my hometown, but I'm 2 hours away from my family, and I can travel frequently to meet with them. And I just
You're
can't
lucky.
imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine what is the feeling. Yeah, I have big imagination, but I believe in this case it's important the personal experience, and that's why I have no idea what does it mean for you to know that you are able to see or to hear them only online. Yeah, maybe every night, maybe you send the messages during the day, but yeah, definitely it's not the same.
Yeah, not
Um,
the same, definitely.
Comparing with the life experience to see them in person. And you mentioned already some approaches that could help someone somehow to adapt, but what was that thing, or maybe those things that help you to adapt? You mentioned that you have an experience, but this time it's somehow different, and I'm sure that this push you somehow to observe, to discover options to help you to maintain the whole situation that you faced. What was those things?
Yeah, thank you. I think answering this question, first of all, I have to mention that I've been reading some scientific materials and research, and the scientists say that three things which are driving people to develop in general in universe, like through the whole history times, it's evolution, mutation, and relocation somewhere, for a better life, for safety, for, finally start a family in a better country or in a better land. But at the same time, when you are in those circumstances, no matter like what kind of good things you have, still this challenge bring you to think in this direction, like exactly like what can I um, what can I insert to my life. So I became again energetic, a resourceful, a active person, and I can come back to the kind of level of activity that I used to have before the relocation. So in my case, and I believe in all people who are like moving abroad, well, of course, with different circumstances, but on our natural level, there is a calling which help you to process this not an easy period of time. So in my case, it worked out that at some point after 3 4 months of living in Poland, I realized I want to join the dance group, local social dance group, because I used to dance in Belarus. I think more or less one year. So in my head, the question popped out like, why can't I join the social dancing community here? Like it's basically spread everywhere. So, and then I start looking for the things which I used to do. So it's like you you want to come back to your habits because after huge stress passed out and you more or less clear with your documents, with where to buy food, like and things like that, basic things, right? So you start looking on different sites and to see like what's going on here. So my first calling was to join again the group of social dancing, and it was, I think, one of the best ideas to stay around the people. It is more or less international community, so immigrants there are pretty much okay, welcomed. And also like interact with local people which are more open to meet you. So it was, I think, number one to search for the group doing same thing you used to do. Second thing, I still believe that there is nothing better than communication with your friends, which you earned through some years before. So what I did is actually I had a few friends who already been into abroad, and we just basically started planning our regular calls. Like, I'm sure that everyone who hear online calls or Zooms, they're full of it. But in case when your friend is calling you, it's so much different. And planning that regularly gives you the feeling that everything is all right with you, you're okay, you're a good person, and more or less like that you're a good friend, which means you have some successes in your life. And what else? Like, I think a couple of more things which are available for everyone. So basically, eh, I was looking for some fitness or sport which I can do by not investing too much money. So for me, it was running. I just need the sneakers and basically can go for a run. It was my also like many years activity which I was doing. It helped me kind of to think out of the box, to take a decision, to create new ideas. So it was kind of meditation practice for me. Maybe bicycle, I would say. Yeah, so something where I don't need any subscription, I don't need to go to fancy gyms and so on. And also last but not the least is actually allowing myself doing some self-care things, girly things, like finding my hairdresser on the new location, finding the woman who can do nails for me, and like for like I don't know if you know this, but for girls it's very important with whom you interact. So like it's very important for you to find your person, and for me, like I don't know why, but several months I thought, oh, it will be more expensive here. They say the service is not so good and things like that. But when I started looking myself, I found everyone I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, I would recommend also to have some regular therapists conversations, yeah, if you have the opportunity, financial opportunity to do that, because I believe in this tool as the huge help while you're trying to adapt to your new life. Yeah, so that's my
Yeah.
strategies, how it worked for me.
Amazing. Most of the strategies, actually, the psychologists and therapists say that
Yeah.
in general they had a huge positive impact of our mental health, especially running, and that actively meditation that you did. I don't know, have you heard about
With open eyes.
active active, yeah, with open eyes while you're doing something, for example walking or running, is a good
Hmm.
example of such a kind of meditation, because many people like me struggling to stay on one place and doing
Yeah.
nothing. I need move. Movement is
Hmm.
the one of the word that definitely describe me.
Hmm.
But one of thing that I also think about, thought about while we talk about the dance. Um, I think that it's for reason to maybe you it's just my interpretation, but the dance help us to express ourselves, because the way how we move, how our body, hands, legs, and so on, actually we allows the whole energy of the emotion to move into all of our body and to get out from our body. And that's why many people also recommend dance for people that struggle to express themselves with words,
Hmm.
but dancing actually help them, um, to feel better, because
Hmm.
without words, only with movement, they said everything what they feel right now. And yeah, this art is amazing, and I think that this is also act like a therapy for you, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I could add some comment regarding dance, because I can talk about dance till the end of this podcast. I've been dancing different styles through the different times of my life. But since I found this social dancing, where the key is doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter how you look, but when you dance, the magic happens. And for me, I think I totally agree with what you're saying. For me, like as I experienced, I brought many times to the dance floor, like the variety of different emotions, and like through my immigrants experience, like 80% of times I brought their fear, sadness, I brought their disappointment, and all the like more negative emotions. But I came back from the dance floor always in a good mood, feeling supported, feeling that I processed all these negative emotions into something good and made it ecologically. So for me, this is the magic of the dance. Definitely, it's the magic how you connect with your body, because they say that it's not only about logic and your mind, but also you have to hear what your body says to you and process all of the emotions that you have through the dance, so totally agree, and it's great to to experience that, and yeah, it's a huge help.
Yeah, definitely. How such an experience influenced your work life? Because many people talking about the balance between the
Mm-hmm.
personal life and work life is to separate them,
Mm-hmm.
to have a specific time slot for work and the rest of the time is only for yourself. But in
Yeah.
reality, this is my experience actually, that those lives are connected. We have so many different lives. We have a friends lives, we have a partner's life, we have
Mm-hmm.
a work lives, and so on, and they're connected. And I believe that if we keep good healthy connection, this could give a good result. So everything what
Mm-hmm.
happened in different lives, if we take it from there and combine it and transform it into the rest of the lives, we could have only positive results. I'm just wondering about your approach, and do you realize
Mm-hmm.
that your personal experience, everything what you went through to this moment, how this influence in general your professional life?
Well, it has a huge influence, definitely. Because at the beginning, as I mentioned, I relocate with the company, and working hours for me was the safest space ever. Because outside you have Poland, you have lots new information, you have new law, you have new even like non-written rules how to act right now, because that's the different society, right? Different history, different mentality, everything is different, and work for me was the safest space to, at least to feel that somewhere life still the same, and it was my work life, I believe. For many people, projects and your like same activities, repetitive activities that you do at work is like a relief. You know that somewhere everything is predictable, you know what to expect, you know how to act, and that's totally all right. How it influenced my career and work, I think in many ways. From one way, I switched to more predictable and simpler projects, even though we have also as a team challenges, because in a new country, suppliers, for example, work differently, and you have to be open minded and understand this. Now, but at the same time, we switched to more simple things, simple tasks. And I think it was good because like the rest of the company also like been relocated and they have similar experiences. So we were matching the big group of people, of employees, with our ideas, with our new approach, which is not new. Yeah, but I think one of the things which I'm not proud is actually to switching to the people's problem too much, even though I also read from the scientific materials that switching to help others, that's one of the good practice, also good strategies, while so many changes. For example, when people move with their cats, with their animals, or they, for example, grow a plant, it helps them, to feel that somewhere there is a space in your life which you control. You can control everything about it, right? But in my case, I think I'm very, like, how to say that, a sensitive person, which feels extend everything which is going on. And I saw how also like people from my country suffer during this relocation. Somebody has a kid who was bullied in the school, for example, right? Somebody was facing not an easy times on project. Somebody was facing troubles with legalization. So I was trying to be like everywhere and help everyone, which is not a good strategy, because you have to also save some energy for yourself. You have to, as they say in the airport, like first put the oxygen on yourself and then on others. I think this is what I've learned as a huge lesson, that you don't have to, be that focused on others people until they ask you, right? Yeah, but the last but not the least change I would mention about my professional life is actually the relocation has helped me um, to go through the very not an easy understanding of who I am as the professional, as an expert, and what is next for me as the marketer, because I spend some time learning, hearing people, also like looking at what I'm doing, with maybe more of the conscious approach, and I realize I don't belong anymore to some company. I want to do my own thing, and as much as it was beautiful, it was also scary experience, and yeah, it was a journey. It's still a journey, but if I could say, I'm happy with what's going on. Like that, I was brave enough to try this way, and yeah, life of immigrant is full of things which you cannot predict, you cannot plan it. Even though I had so many things, I thought I had a plan, but at the end it went different in a different direction. And I think they say that life is uncertain, but there's a beautiful thing in uncertainty. So yeah,
Yeah, and that experience actually make you more strong because to
yeah,
this
definitely.
moment, a couple of times you mentioned about safety, that you look for the
Hmm.
safety. Your job was the safety. The home country, it's a safety place for you. Your family is the safety
Totally.
place. And right now, what exactly happened in your professional life? So you are self-employed, which means that there is
Yeah.
no safety.
No.
Also, yeah, you're already consultant, not
Hmm.
a regular employee in the marketing, waiting someone to take the first step about the potential task. It's everything up to you.
Yeah.
And also your coach help others. Also, it's something that I can say that for sure next few minutes I will appreciate if you share more about this, but
Hmm.
I assume that despite that you have maybe some plans, some tactics how to work with, with people. I don't think that in general your environment right now it's safe, it's predictable or something like that.
Hmm.
Maybe the pattern that you already maybe you have help you to know that um, you can't expect everything to be clear because this is the new
Yeah.
experience that you have to this moment. The whole plans they never work, they never happened. It's important just to keep the direction. So um, how happened this? To decide that you will continue to develop your career
Hmm.
as a self-employed person. What makes you what push you to do such a decision?
Mm, yeah, there's a complex of things, through my professional journey, I've, like, number one reason why I left companies was actually the lack of development or the lack of experience. I would even say that mm, I call myself a hungry for experience person. So, and that's why actually we met with you on one of the startup projects, right? And because I'm always looking for experience, or if I see that, okay, I need this skill and I cannot practice it here, or I don't have opportunity, I'm just looking for an opportunity to gain that. Yeah, and this time, I think this point about what I'm actually collecting to my portfolio, or what kind of experience I'm gaining was louder and louder in my head. I've tried to discuss it with people who potentially can make changes in the company regarding that. But I think I realized with the time this is like one of the key understanding of adult person doing the career right in marketing or whatever, that actually the responsibility for your self development as a professional is on you, not on companies, not on other people, not on your managers. So, like, if you really want, you're focusing on that and you're growing. And that was, I think, one of the key, hard but not possible to learn lessons. I think number two was that ignoring the signs of my body wasn't a good strategy, because after some time working abroad, I started to feel panic attacks. I started to feel pain in my feet, but I was denying, like, oh, that's something not important right now. I have to focus. I have so many projects. I have so many promises to my colleagues and to my manager and everything. Yeah, and that is like totally wrong strategy, because one day I found myself laying on sofa, not being able to open my laptop, working laptop. Yeah, so definitely don't recommend anyone to ignore the signals of the body. Yeah. Reason number three, I already mentioned that this emotional connection to everyone's challenges, but mine also like lead to not the right way of my emotional state. Yeah, and I think number four, which is very, very, how to say, popular among the people who burned out at work, is actually postponing my life after work. Because for me was the huge for like I'm the person who is involved so much into corporate culture, into maintaining this thing, into giving the people understanding what is the reason why you're in this company, right? But at the same time, putting like all my activities and my interest and my wishes to okay later, brought me, to the feeling that I'm only condensed for the others, for ignoring my signals of the body. So that's like four major reasons what happened, and I spent quite a lot of time. It's already been 6 months analyzing and reflecting on why it happened, and I think those are like the most important points why it happened.
Yeah, but we learn from the experience,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
definitely,
Doesn't matter.
definitely.
So many people around us that are more mature than us can say it, this lesson, this lesson, this lesson, and somehow we
Hmm.
ignore them. But we need that personal experience to come with the
That's for
such
sure.
a conclusion that you did. And a couple of times you say that um, how one of the challenge that you faced is that you you are too connected with others, you
Yeah,
too carry others, and so on. But meanwhile, now you continue to do this, you continue to take care of others,
yeah.
working as a coach.
There is a difference.
I'm I believe I believe that you learned your lesson how to manage
Yeah,
this. But one of thing I'd like to say for the people that suffer with some mental health challenges, is that if you take care for someone, you already mentioned, but one of the benefits is make us feel valuable as a
yeah,
personality, that we matter, that we are capable, and we are not just capable to feed the cat or to grow the plant. We know we are capable to take care of a human, and it puts
yeah,
us in a different position and help us to develop our self-confidence and to minimize any self-doubt that we have for us. And I believe that it's important just to find the balance, because we have to continue to take care of us. I'm curious to know more about your coaching career, because based on what we already talked, actually your experience as an immigrant, actually you transformed somehow, and this is one of the professional opportunity that take a part of your life right now. So if you'd like to share more about this.
Yeah, so what I can say is actually that having coaching in my professional and, of course, personal life has brought me to actually develop my career also, like in the last organization, and still I'm continue doing my consulting practice also with the help of the coaching. Before I joined this approach, like doing this actively, many people mentioned to me that actually, Sandra, you have a well structured and strategic vision of things. And for me, like I was, first of all, I wasn't, paying attention to that. Then I was laughing about it. And then, of course, I went to some of the coaching school local in Belarus, and I started learning that I believe coaching as the practice of open questions has helped me to grow and build my career in my previous organization that I used to work. Um, and why I like it so much is because this is something that I would call non-manipulative way of communicating. So that requires, for example, the true motivation of the person. That requires that both people are communicating as the partners. And there is always understanding that the person who wants some changes in the life, in career, taking the full responsibility of what she or he is going to do. So it's not about a fancy talk which doesn't lead to anything. It's the talk which, how to say, is not the reason, but is like the first initiative to your changes in life or in your career. Yeah. Um, I know that for many people, especially in CIS countries, coaching is the bad word because of some not very professional bloggers or influencers, let's say, right? But the one that I've studied, I actually made certification, so it means I've practiced something about 8 to 10 months. I've passed the exams and I proved that I'm qualified to do such work. So I have like official permission to do this because we are working with people, we are working with their sometimes limiting beliefs, sometimes with fears, and that's personal work which is supposed to be how to say, regulated by some organization, which of course I have connected to every single month. It's called International Coaching Union. Yeah, and that's why we have maybe new approaches, new tools, regular sessions where we kind of calibrate how we do this work so we don't harm people. Yeah, and yeah, I have some also like lessons through the coaching if I can share them now or later.
Yeah, yeah, please do. This is something, definitely one thing that I'm gonna ask
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah. So
lessons.
like
So
at the moment I have like 100 hours of coaching practice, which is a good start, but of course there's way more to go. So since um, since I started doing coaching for immigrants as well as for businesses, I realized if there is no answer to the question, what is the final goal of this project or this task or adventure, it is actually will be like almost impossible to complete it. That's why so many tasks are left. So many goals are just written in our notebooks and you don't go anywhere with it. Also, what I've learned through the coaching coach is actually the person who is just slightly asking the question, but the 80% of the consulting, the client is talking. That's why it taught me, even like when I'm not doing this, to be a good listener. And sometimes it's even better than being a good speaker. Because people, I realize people need the space where they just explain themselves, hear themselves, and sometimes you just need to be in that space. But yeah, just being a good listener, it helps a lot. Number three, I would say that this is so common for people that our brain is dedicated to self-critique rather than become your inner supporter, like oftenly, when until you don't notice that. That happens because brain has some saving mechanism, let's say, because all the new acting outside of the box or like way of your comfort zone is very scary. And let's not do this. Yeah, and number four, I think this is the basics. We sometimes forgot about this, but yeah, actually, we have everything inside of us to achieve our most intriguing goals, overcome our fears and some negative assumptions. We have to repeat that more often.
And
Yeah,
it's amazing.
something
It's
like
amazing.
this.
Who are the people that you used to you work with as a consultant, as a
Mhm.
coach? Sorry, as a coach. Who are they?
Yeah, so I use coaching for three different direction. The most inspiring right now for me because I'm stepping kind of on similar way. Let's say it's small and medium business owners. They already have some experience how to build business, but navigating in marketing is so challenging these days. There's a lot of not proving information. There's a lot of buzzy words like chatbots and things like that. And like really it's a challenge to navigate in this. Because I have 10 years in marketing, I feel more confident to, and conscious, about the certain tools or approaches. And that's why here I support the entrepreneurs. Second direction is actually because um, I've learned from the very early days in my corporate career that being a good expert, it's a good thing, but it's not everything. In working in corporate requires you to be proactive, team player, good communicator, and things like that. And also forgetting about your imposter syndrome or overcoming this. Some of my ex colleagues or people who know me from marketing, they trust me because I've kind of built a way. I started from the copywriter, which is a very simple work to do, and my ultimate title was marketing executive. So I know something about how to navigate in this corporate environment. And the number three, direction number three, is actually for people who has been relocated, who has been living abroad for some time, and they want something different from their life rather than going to the job they don't like or surround the toxic people. They suppose they don't have the choice, but actually they do have, and I help them to to accept those changes in the life and then move on and step by step build new habits, new um, views on what you see on your daily environment. Yeah, and to achieve different results.
I see. Awesome. Considering that you continue to think for others, is there something
Yeah.
specific, like a practice or tactics that you're doing that
Mhm.
help you to, to keep a good mental health condition?
Yeah.
To this moment, you sounds like a, well balanced person. Somehow you overcome the challenge of immigrant life.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, is there something, maybe one or two things that you used to do and help you a lot?
Well, yes, definitely. There are a practice. I don't know if I discovered all of them, but some of things are working for me very, very well. I think the ground level for work like this, for supporting specialists, is actually to keep yourself in a good mood, in a good state of your body and mind. So I do some pre-work, to be honest. So I practice running twice or three times per week. mm, I discovered that a good sleep is much, much better than going to the social dances, even though I really like it, but I have to take some um, choices which are bringing my clients results, right? And meditations, I would say that this is something works for me. Some good practice to stay conscious, to be very much into awareness of what the person says, what the client says, right? And those are like pre-work. But if we're talking about how can I maintain a balance between the clients and their suffers. First of all, they taught us in this coaching school that we look at the person from maybe not from our position, but like a third position. If you imagine, for example, right now, there's a camera which is filming you and me, so this is actually my position as the coach. I'm not myself in this process. And this kind of position, like from the third person, helps you to stay away from taking things personally, right? But I discovered I have a very good practice after, for example, client session end. I don't know why, but I need some experience with water. So I go to shower to kind of wash everything for all we discussed. Either I go like the best way to to forget about people's suffers is actually to go, because I live in the city with the sea, so I go for a walk near the waterfront. Rather, it will be Baltic Sea or just a lake or even small, waterfront. So it helps me a lot. I think I'm a water person or nature person. Yeah, and then I feel refreshed, like new and ready to to continue.
Yeah, water definitely. It's one of the popular practices I know, especially people suffering with panic attacks. I know that
Yeah.
helps a lot. Something happened on the process level with the body, and that movement of the water. over our
Mm-hmm.
bodies, the skin actually help us to calm down the mind.
Sure.
And yeah, so if you heard my cat, sorry for the noise.
No, I
She
haven't.
like okay because the noise she creates right now definitely it's a challenge for me. Before the finish our conversation, I'd like
Mm-hmm.
to ask you the last question. Considering the whole experience that you had to this moment, so many things happened in your life, especially in recent few years. Um, if you have a chance to meet with your younger self,
Mm-hmm.
what advice are you gonna give to her?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have some. I think I've learned a lot of lessons. Um, I think still a good reason, to going to no matter the journey, but having that in my immigrant's life, like my specific events. I've tried to collect some advices for younger self or for those people who are, on the early career stage and also like immigrant stage. So I would definitely recommend to stay in line with your personal taboo or with your personal values, let's say, in a more popular way, because sometimes we forget which things we are value and which things um, we're not able to continue to do something in certain ways. So for me, it was a huge this like not this previous year was for me a huge comeback actually to myself, because I had some of my rules. I don't do this. I don't go here. I'm not surrounding these people, right? But I don't know. At some moment, immigration brings you to the survival level, and you think like, okay, one time it will gonna work. It's not going to work because your values are not something you can jump in and forget. Second thing, I would say something like your don't put your career or your professional development on pause because of different reasons, whatever you can hear or whatever you can find to, even to say to yourself, that's a that's not the way. Like, if it's important for you, you can still, find ways, find opportunities to develop, and that's the beauty of, growing as the specialist, as the expert. And I would say the last but not the least, never give up, because at some point of your career or your lifetime, it would feel like you lose, but it's not, and yeah, never give up and don't afraid to do some brave things, because that's what make us different people, and this is how other brave people could see you and could actually meet you. If you don't do this kind of brave choices, how they will know you're the person they actually could be surrounded.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for the conversation,
Yeah,
the
thank you
amazing
too.
insights that you shared with us. Amazing experience. I hope that for the future we can have again opportunity to talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think that 1 hour definitely is not enough to know more about you and to take a bit more from your wisdom. Because I believe that the wisdom there is no age. Doesn't matter how old we are. It depends on the
Yeah, that's
experience
for
that we
sure.
have, and yeah, definitely. So thank you again.
Thank you too, and yeah, I wish everyone uh, to don't give up with their choices, and never forget who you are.
Yeah, amazing.